Welcome to Kelvin Power Tools. My name is Gordon from Festool. The big tall guy who's behind me, we have him in the back of the shop so you can get all of them in. That's Eddie with the red hair. Eddie's the local territory sales manager for Scotland, and he's going to be helping with all the pricing, and he's going to be reminding me of things I've forgotten when we do this presentation. So we're working together today. We're here now for the last presentation of the day to talk about the PDC 18 driver hammer drill, percussion drill driver, and the TID 18 impact driver. Launched in January, it's already been a fabulous seller for us. This 4-speed drill is an absolute beast in terms of performance and torque. So I'm going to quickly start just with a quick talk about the batteries. Basically we have for drilling really 3 batteries. We have a 3.1 amp, quite slimline. We have a 4 amp, a brand new 4 amp, which was launched in January as well, and a 5.2 amp version. Now, basically, why the difference? Why have a 3.1 or a 5.2? Basically, size and weight. So, for example, if you have a lot of screws to put in overhead, it's as well to put this 18 volt 3.1 amp. You'll get less screws. Of course, the amp hour refers to the capacity, a bit like the fuel tank on your car. So the bigger the amp hour, the more screws you're going to drive, the more holes you're going to drill, or the more material you're going to cut if you're using 18 volt circular saws and what have you. So basically it's purely the fuel tank. An 18 volt 3.1 amp is just as powerful as a 5.2 amp. It just doesn't run as long. So fuel tank against power. They're all 18 volt tools. They're all what we call our EC Tech brushless tools. If you have any questions, guys, you're very welcome to interrupt me. We're looking at you live on Facebook and Instagram. Just to ask any questions as you go along. So basically for overhead work, 3.1 amp. Horizontal work or down, working on a bench, 5.2 is fine, so you're not lifting that all day. Loads of screws out of that, and that's basically the difference. They are lithium ion, but in January we launched this new battery, and this is called a 4 amp high power battery. And the big difference between the two batteries is that all the other batteries we do contain multiple cells in a sequence. So basically 1.3 amp cells, a number of them to make up the amp hour of the battery. In the case of this battery, it only has 2 cells. So it's called a 4 amp high power. What's the benefit of that? Well, basically the best analogy I can give you is get 2 watering cans with 5 litres of water in each. You have one with a rose on, fitted with a rose, and one without being fitted with a rose, and release them. Which one dispenses the water quicker? Yes, of course, the one without the rose. So basically this is like a watering can without a rose. It delivers really the same power but really quickly, and it's ideal for things like impact drivers, the SDS drill that we do, the BXC, and also the PDC, because it's instant power. And it just gives you that real kick if you're undoing rusty fasteners or you really need to get moving. This is the battery to choose. It's 20% lighter, it's 50% lighter, but just for just 20% less power, less volume than the 5.2 amp battery here. So there's a real big benefit. It's lightweight, high power, and really instant power when you're using it on a percussion drill or an impact driver. So those are your choices. As I say, the guys, Eddie and Stuart, will give you a few options as to the offers they have, including any combination of these batteries, but they'll explain all that a little bit later. So, if we're looking at the drill, the batteries themselves, they all have an indicator, a power indicator. 3 lights, 3 green lights is good. We're all good to go. So in this case, we're going to talk about the PDC first, PDC 18. This is an absolute stalwart of the Festool range. First thing about it, it's a percussion drill. So you have drilling or percussion, and then what you have is 4 speeds. So basically the 4th speed is quite unique to Festool. It's 3,800 RPM, guys, so it's ideal for driving tech screws or for drilling steel where you need the higher speed. Basically the lower the speed setting, the higher the torque. So if you think of torque and speed as a curve, basically 0 speed, 0 torque. About half speed you get the maximum torque, and then the faster speed you lose more torque. As a characteristic, the impact driver is completely reverse. The longer you run that, at the faster speed you run it, the longer you leave it on the joint, the higher torque you will achieve. So at the moment this one has a maximum torque of 60 Newton meters. This one will go all the way to 180 Newton meters if you leave it on the fastening. But the PDC, you've got 12 torque settings and a drill setting, you've got 4 speeds, and then you've got the percussion setting as well. So in the kit, what we call a Centratec bit holder, which takes all our Centratec accessories, and we're going to do some drilling with it in a moment. So basically this is a 6mm fitting, unlike the UK, which is a 1/4 inch, but the big benefit of this system is the length of the shank that's retained inside the bit holder. So you basically fit the shank all the way up to this green ring here. You can see that. And now it's like having a bigger handle on your screwdriver, so you deliver more torque. This is a magnetic, this is a percussion drill bit holder, so basically this will take impact bits as well. What we're going to do first, we've got some screws here, and we're just going to pop these in the end of this oak here. So let's wind that up. So I'm going to set the torque somewhere in 2nd speed, medium torque. So let's have a go at driving this in. So Eddie's got hold of it as well. So here we go. Okay, so we can increase the torque now. So back it up a fraction. I think we're going to split the wood if we carry on, but that's solid oak. It's really heavy stuff to drive, and we're almost all the way in with this one. Let's take that out. Okay, using your Centratec chuck, you can also use our Forstner Bits. So Eddie's going to pass me one of these. So let's have the 35mm. Okay, again, the bigger the bit, the slower the speed. So what we'll do, we'll take this down to 2, we'll set it in speed, in drilling setting, and we'll try making a hole in this. These are fantastic drill bits, guys. They're made by a company called Zobo in Switzerland. We own them. They're a Festool family company, and the finish you get on these is fantastic. This is the 35mm bit. Well, let's have a go with this one. And if we look at this now, okay, let's show you that one. So you can see that is an absolutely beautiful finish. It works really well on things like laminate when you're doing cabinet hinges. You just need to drill a couple. This is the perfect bit. Another great thing about these bits, in the set you also have the opportunity of a drill bit as well, so you can fit a drill bit and then do a through hole and then come back the other way. So for example with a Yale lock, something of that nature, you'll find it's great. The other great thing about the pin as well is it allows you to start off at an angle. Works really well, particularly in solid woods like this and hardwoods. The set sizes, by the way, start at 15, 20, 25, 30 and 35mm. So that's the kit. Again, I'm sure they have these in stock here at Kelvin. So back to the PDC. What else do you get for your money? Well, again, everything with Festool works as a set. So basically we have 3 versions of the drill. We have a basic machine, which basically is the tool in a sustainer. All our machines come in sustainers, as you remember. That's the basic. Then we have a plus version, which is that, 2 batteries, a charger. You also get a keyless chuck and a Centratec chuck. So again, everything that's green is the doing button. Pull the sleeve, set that up. So basic is just a tool in a box. Plus means it's got 2 batteries and a charger and the 2 chucks. And then we have the set version. And this is the set version here. In this case, you're getting 2 5.2 amp batteries, the drill, the 2 chucks, side handle, most important when you're driving those big screws, you don't want any reaction to damage your wrist. And then also this fantastic angle chuck. This is a marvel of engineering. So basically, like anything Festool again, we look at the green sleeve, pull the green sleeve back and index that round to wherever we can get it on. And there you have it. And the screwdriver bit can go directly in the end. Or you can use any one of the variety of fast fix chucks. So, but it's a really, really robust piece of kit. Great for site work. This, for example, with a Forstner bit on the Centratech chuck, fantastic for people like plumbers, electricians, drilling conduits between joists. And you can index that to about 12 places. So really, really useful. So that would be the PDC 18. Have I covered everything there, Eddie? Yes. Thank you, Eddie. That's great. Eddie's keeping me in touch. He's also going to have to tidy up after me in a minute. The next one I'm going to talk about is the new release this year, which is the impact driver. Long awaited. We used to have an impact driver about 15 years ago. We launched this one in January, the TID 18 volt. Again, available in a variety of configurations with batteries. So in the case of the TID, you can put it as a basic, you can have it as a twin pack with either a drill driver or a PDC, with a T18 or a PDC. And also, again, a variety of battery configurations. I think an ideal combo is the 4 amp. Again, talking about, as I was before, the performance of a 4 amp battery. But let's just give it a try with some of these screws. Let's pick a battery. Yep. Sorry, Eddie? 5.2 or 3.1, yeah. Okay. So here we go. Now you have 3 torque settings. And basically, the more you put on, the more torque you achieve, and the longer you leave it on. You also have this T setting, which I'll just point out. And the T setting is there for drilling metal. So basically, when you're doing something like a tech screw, basically you have a self-drilling, self-tapping screw. You've got a drill bit on the tip of the screw. You need the T setting. When you set it in the T setting, it starts off in high speed and then slows down once you break through the metal to achieve a joint. So it pulls into wood a lot slower, so you've got more control, and it makes a really tight joint because you need a slower speed for wood than you do for steel. But it just covers that, so it allows you to drill these tech screws. They use them on a lot of things like cladding, or where you want to attach something, a steel plate to timber. That's when you'd use it. So it's a good setting to have. Let's pop this in here. Eddie, if we can clamp that up, that's all right. I'll grab it now. So I'm going to set this in roughly the middle setting. And let's have a go. As you can see, we're smoking, we split the wood. Now, where would you use an impact driver or over a drill driver? Really when you're reaching, so your timber construction, windows, fitting windows, dealing on roofs, where you're actually stretching or straining. Because it's got the impact mechanism, there's no need to put your energy behind it. So you can stretch, fit a screw in, and it's tap, 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 tap at a distance. That's the benefit of an impact driver. And basically, the longer you hold it on at the higher speed, the more torque you're going to achieve. And as we said, there we are, we split this beautiful piece of oak, just driving that screw into the end grain, which isn't an easy job either.
So somebody's asked, what are the tools like in concrete?
Yeah, fantastic. The PDC, obviously for drilling concrete, for either drilling walls, drilling floors, fixing things down. Obviously different to an SDS. An SDS, you don't apply any weight, you let the weight of the machine do the work. But yeah, it's fantastic for anything like that, the PDC. This one, you'd use this to drill a concrete block before you put your fixing in, and then you drive the fixing in with your impact driver. That's why they offer that as a twin pack very often. It seems a good combination, you know. Thanks for joining us, and good evening.